iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Dr. Roto, get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. If you watched last night's Thursday night game, here's what you learned. You learned you know nothing about the NFL. I mean, that was the craziest end I've ever seen. I mean, how many times did it take 3 plays at the end of the game? I mean, the Chiefs thought they lost, then they won, then they lost, and they won. Unreal. And then I still don't get this rule where the 10-second clock, where they subtract 10 seconds at the end of the game, where it was like 18 seconds left, right? And then they had to check the play, then they lost 10 seconds. Who came up with this great idea? Why would you automatically lose 10 seconds? Somebody explain this to me. I don't know. Made no sense to me, but what can I tell you? But last night's game, Derek Carr, 417 yards and 3 touchdowns. This is just after I said the guy hasn't thrown for more than 262 all season. What I can tell you is this. Just when you think you know the NFL, you know nothing. You know nothing. It's a topsy-turvy league. Amari Cooper couldn't catch a cold. He gets 11 receptions for 210 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jared Cook hasn't been over 25 yards in 2 weeks. He goes 6 for 107. I mean, what can I tell you? I played Cooper in one league. I benched Cook in another. I still think I did the right thing. Marshawn Lynch gets ejected from the game, and they still dominate. Unreal. Unreal. So Michael Crabtree, 3 for 24 and a touchdown. For Kansas City, Alex Smith, 342 yards and 3 touchdowns. I love when this guy airs it out. I love it. I just wish he would do it more. I wanted to see more Kareem Hunt. Only had 87 yards rushing. He had 4 receptions for 30 yards. I would have liked to have seen more of him. Tyreek Hill, how special is this guy? 6 for 125 and a touchdown. Kelsey, not a big night. 4 for 33 and a touchdown, but not going to kill you. He'll take your 13 points, but I would have liked a little more. I'm just being a little greedy. What can I tell you? I'm just being a little greedy here. But it was a sensational, sensational game. And a lot of fun to watch. And I'm sure a lot of people were like, I'm not watching this crap. But it was really good. Started out as a good game and finished as a good game. 61 points from 2 teams who, the Raiders haven't put up 61 points, it seems like, in 3 weeks. So, great job. All right, this week I do my hot take analysis. So we'll take a look at each game. I'll give you a take from this game. And I love this segment because it helps me start to crystallize what I'm thinking. And remember, I go on the radio 3 times over the next 3 days. I have a local show down here in Southwest Florida on 99.3 ESPN. I've got Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio, 7 to 9 on Saturday. And on Sunday, 10 to 11 a.m. on Sirius Fantasy Sports Radio, Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio with my friend Adam Ronis. We do it every Sunday morning. So let's take a look at these hot takes. Remember, Detroit and Houston on bye. Golden Tate on bye. Abdullah on bye. Stafford on bye. Deshaun Watson on bye. Lamar Miller on bye. DeAndre Hopkins on bye. Will Fuller on bye. Good players on bye. Good players on bye week. All right, Tampa Bay at Buffalo. And I wanted to get this up here. Let me see if I can find this. Yeah. Tampa Bay at Buffalo, there's no line on this game. Okay, there's no line on this game because nobody knows what Jameis Winston's going to do. I think Jameis is going to play. That said, I like Buffalo. Buffalo's played very well this year. Very well. Got to give a lot of credit to Sean McDermott. I thought this team was going to be trash on the side of trash. And they've been good. So I think Tampa Bay is going to have to come and win this game. Because Buffalo is going to play very hard. Tampa Bay has to play to win. I don't know if they can do that on the road. Not sure. We'll have to see how this shakes down. I like Buffalo. I like LaShawn McCoy. I like Tyrod Taylor a lot. There's no passing game. Jordan Matthews out. Charles Clay out. Could be a LaShawn McCoy love fest. Like him a lot this week. Carolina and Chicago. I am officially worried about Kelvin Benjamin. I'm officially worried about Kelvin Benjamin. I'm telling you that right now. He is not right. His knee is not great. It's not great. So Devin Funchess may be the number 1 receiver there. And then they've got to get Russell Shepard involved, Curtis Samuel involved, Ed Dixon more involved. They've got to work on that, Carolina. They usually go to Benjamin. They get McCaffrey involved. Funchess will be good. Funchess has some very good size, but they need to do more. For Chicago, I just need to see them stop handing the ball off to Jordan Howard 1,000 times a game, integrate Tariq Cohen more in this offense, and throw the ball to a receiver. Please, for the love of God, throw the ball to a receiver once in your lifetime. But look, Chicago can win this game. No Benjamin, big problems. Cam Newton, the most inaccurate quarterback in the history of mankind. This guy stinks. I've told you this guy 100,000 times. Overrated. And the Bears will pressure him. I like the Bears defense this week. I think the Bears could pull off an upset. Just throwing it out there. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but it wouldn't shock me. Tennessee-Cleveland, it'll shock me if Cleveland wins this one. This is not a good spot for them. Deshaun Kaiser is a one-read kind of guy, and then he takes off and runs. Tennessee's defense, the front seven, is very good. How do you attack Tennessee? In the secondary. But Deshaun Kaiser, I don't think, is the guy who can do it. I don't think Kaiser is a guy who's made for this game. I think it's a real bad matchup. Real good matchup for Marcus Mariota. Big chance that DeMarco Murray's out. Derrick Henry playing very well this week, but Cleveland's run defense is good. I like Mariota to Delaney Walker. I think that's always good. Mariota to Rashard Matthews. Always a good play there, too. I think Rashard Matthews, always a sneaky start. All right, New Orleans at Green Bay. Count me in as someone who's intrigued by Brett Hundley. I am officially intrigued by Brett Hundley. I love this guy's skill set. So once again, I'm going to break it down for you very simply. He throws for 200 yards passing. He gets one passing touchdown and runs for 40 yards. 18 fantasy points right there. That's what I'm talking about. So I know that sounds ridiculous, right? You're crazy, but I'm not crazy. I can tell you how he can get 18 fantasy points. And I'm telling you that Brett Hundley might be one of the top quarterbacks in DFS this weekend. He's $5,100, and I just said that he's going to get 18 fantasy points. He may be a 4X kind of guy. I might roll with him. I like Brett Hundley. Now, I think Aaron Jones gets more involved. I think Jordy Nelson gets involved. I think Devontae Adams gets involved. I am officially worried about Randall Cobb and Martellus Bennett. I am. Because you've got to feed Jordy and you've got to feed Adams. And you've got to give the ball to your running backs. So I'm worried about the secondary plays there. But for New Orleans, I really want to see Ingram and Kamara again. How good can they be? And can they please integrate Mike Thomas back into this offense? Get Mike Thomas back in this offense. Now, I can tell you this. I know our optimizer loves Michael Thomas this week. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say this. I'm all in on Michael Thomas this week because he hurt so many people last week. That's how I roll. You know that. You screw me last week, I'm all over you. You're my best friend this week. I have a very short memory. Actually, that's not true. I have a very good memory and a very long memory. But in DFS, I have a very short memory. Okay, Jacksonville at Indianapolis. So I will sit here and pray to the fantasy gods. Dear fantasy gods, please show the light to Chuck Pagano, who is so stupid and so overwhelmed as a head coach that he cannot figure out how to give the ball to Marlon Mack, who is his fastest running back, shiftiest running back, and because the Jaguars' defense is so wretched against the run, Marlon Mack needs the ball. Please, fantasy gods, hear my prayer and talk some sense into Chuck Pagano. Amen. All right, that's all I'm saying. You got to give the guy the ball. You got to give Marlon Mack the ball. You're not going to beat Jacksonville through the air. This is not the T.Y. Hilton week. I'm not checking into T.Y. Hilton. I'm not checking into Dante Moncrief. I like me some Jack Doyle, and I like me some Marlon Mack. And I don't want to see Frank Gore on the field. For Jacksonville, this game is predicated on Leonard Fournette. They say he's going to be healthy. I need to see it. But I think if I had Chris Ivory, I wouldn't be afraid to use him this week because I don't think they're going to run Fournette into the ground, not with him not 100%. Just throwing that out there. And Blake Bortles is a train wreck. Blake Bortles train wreck. Watch it live in Indianapolis happen. Arizona at the Rams. Do you know who the worst team is against the run in the NFL? That's right, the Los Angeles Rams. Who wants to run the ball? The Cardinals. Who wants to be really greedy and run a lot? Adrian Peterson. I think he has a big week this week. I'm all in on AP. I am. I'm in on AP. think he's the play of the game there. For the Rams, I like Gurley, but I don't love him this week. Arizona is very good run defense. I can't tell you to bench him, but I just tell you I don't love him. I do like a little Sammy Watkins and a little Robert Woods this week. I think they take advantage of Arizona's secondary. Okay, the Jets in Miami. You are not going to want to play Jay Ajayi, but you should. But Dr. Roto, the last time Jay Ajayi played the same New York Jets, didn't he suck? Wasn't he like the worst guy ever? Yes, he was. 11 carries for 16 yards. That's not going to happen this week, but I hope everybody thinks it's going to happen. I think Jay Ajayi gets 24 carries for 170 yards, and I'll take it. I will, but he can't pass catch. Okay, but he's still going to run me for 100 yards and probably a score. I'll take it. I'll take my 20 points. For the Jets, I've underestimated them all year. I know Bilal Powell's back. I know Robbie Anderson's back, but I don't know how they're going to use these guys. I don't feel good about any of them. I mean, will I play Bilal Powell? I guess I will, but I won't feel good about it. Will I play Robbie Anderson? Yes, I will, but I think this is going to be a very low-scoring game. I do this. These two teams just never play high-scoring games. Baltimore at Minnesota. Look, the Vikings defense at home against Joe Flacco, who's not looked good this year. I think the Vikings are a really good start defensively this week. I think they are a really good start. Jerick McKinnon has looked good. Case Keenum's not been bad. Interested to see if Diggs is 100%. I like Rudolph. Remember, Mercedes Lewis had 3 touchdowns against the Ravens. Maybe Rudolph does well. Love Adam Thielen. Always love Adam Thielen. For Baltimore, I don't know who I like. I don't really like Alex Collins this week. Maybe Buck Allen. I don't know if I like anybody. I don't even know if this team scores this week. Mike Wallace is not healthy. Brashard Perriman's not healthy. Tell me how Baltimore is going to score in this game. Defensive touchdown, maybe? Maybe Joe Flacco makes a couple of passes and they kick a few field goals from 50 yards. So, I mean, I could live with Justin Tucker, but I don't see how they win this game. I don't picture it. I'm looking at it, but I can't see how Baltimore wins this game. I think I'm all in on Minnesota. Let me see something here. One moment, please. Please hold. This is a very low-scoring game. Baltimore Ravens and Minnesota Vikings, 38.5, and it's -6. The Vikings are -245. Yeah, Vegas loves the Vikings. The problem is, whenever you think you know anything in the NFL, you don't. So that's a very heavy favorite. I might avoid. Dallas, San Francisco, Zeke, and more Zeke. Dak, and more Dak. Dez, and more Dez. That's what you're going to see here. San Francisco, C.J. Beathard, what can he do? I think he could be pretty good. I think Kyle Shanahan is a very inventive offensive coordinator and head coach, obviously, but he knows his offense. I think he's going to make C.J. Beathard an interesting play this week. Carlos Hyde, Matt Breida, Pierre Garçon. I like Pierre Garçon. I always do. George Kittle has really impressed me. Beathard to Kittle, the Iowa Hawkeye connection. Gotta love it. Seattle and the Giants. Oy, this is a bad game here. Seattle, I mean, who's running the ball there? Who's catching the ball there? Maybe Dougie Baldwin? I like Jimmy Graham. I think he's a fantastic start this week. For the Giants, Orleans Darkwa was sensational last week against Denver. Can he do it again? They're going to need him to. I mean, Eli barely threw the football. If Eli has to throw the football against the Seahawks defense, this could be a very long game. So I'm leaning toward Seattle winning this one. But look, the Giants have a bye week coming up. Sterling Shepard is back. They could use a win. They have a little confidence. And this could be a lot closer than people expect. I think so. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Man, two teams that have just been very stingy in terms of pass defense. Dalton, Ben Roethlisberger. I don't see where the points are coming here. Vegas doesn't see that either. This is a very low-scoring game. This is 40.5. So I may stay away from this one in terms of DFS. I don't really love A.J. Green or Antonio Brown. I think this is just an ugly, AFC North game. Bell, Mixon, Green, Brown, 17-14, late field goal, win, boom, done. That's what they do. Denver and the Chargers, no Emmanuel Sanders, that's a problem. A lot of Demaryius Thomas, but he's not 100%. A lot of people are in on Benny Fowler this week with good reason. They have to run the ball better. I think they need more C.J. Anderson. You can't rely on Trevor Siemian at all. That's a big mistake. For the Chargers, I need Melvin Gordon, and more Melvin Gordon. So I want to see something here because Denver's run defense has been very, very average, right? Very, very average. And then some weeks, let me see what's going on here. One moment. Please hold. Please continue to hold. Thank you for holding. All right, against running backs, Denver's been very, very generous. Where are the Broncos? Oh. Well, let's see. I'm wrong. Against the Chargers, only 64 yards. Dallas, 16 yards. Buffalo, 62. Oakland, 25. But against Orleans Darkwater, 148. So the Broncos are very good against the run, but are they? Are they? Orleans Darkwater ran the ball down their throat. What is Melvin Gordon going to do? I think this game is all about Melvin Gordon. If he gets 100 yards, the Chargers win. If he doesn't, the Chargers lose. I think it might be as simple as that. The two best games of the week are the Sunday night game and the Monday game. Really good games. First of all, Atlanta, New England. Get the fireworks out now. This is going to be an outstanding, outstanding game. One of the things I'm actually pretty happy about, I would have to say, is that in the Millionaire Maker, this game won't be there, which is good because you got to load up in this game if you're on DraftKings. On FanDuel, this game will be there, and you better get your Patriots and your Falcons in. This game is like a 56 burger in Vegas, right? 56 and a half. So you better be all over those guys. If you're not, I mean, this is almost by 10 points. So Vegas is saying, this is where the points are. Get with the points. Love Brady, love Cooks, love Gronk, love James White, love Julio Jones, love Austin Hooper, love Devonta Freeman. Love, 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 love. Just get them all in. Get them all in. Stack the game if you can. Stack it if you can. Washington, Philadelphia. Kirk Cousins always gets better as the season goes on. He's never as good in the first 3 weeks as he is the last 13. I think that the Philadelphia Eagles are susceptible to the deep ball, and I think Kirk Cousins is going to find Terrell Pryor. All Pryor has to do now is catch the football. The ball will be there. He needs to catch the football. This is not hard. Catch the football. Because if they don't, they could lose this game because Philadelphia is playing at a very high level. Very high level right now. But I think this game is winnable for Washington if they can make a couple of big plays. I like Josh Doxson as well. Love me some Zach Ertz. Doxson, Chris Thompson. These two are great games. Very much looking forward to them. All right, tonight I'll be podcasting with my man Fuego Steve Hillman. Hopefully that'll be up around midnight at scoutdfs.com. We have our optimizers. We have our podcasts. We have our scout scores. Incredible tool to help you. We've got articles. We've got chats. Please be there, scoutdfs.com. Also, scoutfantasy.com. Enter the promo code ROTO2017. Get half off your first month. Be a member of the Scout Army. Ask us your questions. Get our advice. Get our articles. We'll help you win. That's how we roll. We want you to be a winner. Right? You win, we're happy. It's as simple as that. All right, guys. Time now to put away the insurance cards. Put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. I wish you a fantastic Week 7. If you had Amari Cooper, good for you. If you stacked that game yesterday in DFS, good for you. I hope you win a lot of money. All right, guys. Wishing you a great weekend. Be well. And take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!